All right, as promised, we are back with part 2 for David Vuillemin. This was a long one, so we just thought it'd be better to break it into 2 to make it a little easier for you guys to consume. So without any further wait, this is the final part of David Vuillemin's Whiskey Throttle Show episode. Enjoy.
Coming to you from the Troy Lee Design Saloon in Corona, California, it's the Whiskey Throttle Show, bringing you the legends and leaders of our sport with your host, David Pingree. This week's guest is brought to you by Yamaha, the leaders in the power sports industry. Motocross bikes, street bikes, adventure bikes, generators, side-by-sides, quads, boats. Yamaha sets the standard. Yamaha revs your heart. Today's guest is presented by Therabody, the world leader in human performance, wellness, and recovery. The pioneers of percussive therapy, Therabody changed the game with the Theragun device. Their arsenal has grown to include recovery compression systems, powered electric muscle stimulators, adjustable vibrating foam rollers, and a complete line of organic wellness solutions with their Thera One lineup. Whether you are a world-class athlete or you are just looking to improve your overall health, Therabody has the tools to help. Today's show brought to you in part by Method Race Wheels, the strongest, lightest, fastest wheels in off-road. Method dominates the off-road market, and they have the wheels for your truck, sprinter, SUV, Jeep, or van. SKDA Graphics. SKDA has turned the motorcycle graphic design world on its head by bringing a fast, fresh look into the sport. From outside-the-box designs to retro looks to a complete line of Whiskey Throttle show graphics, SKDA is operating on a completely different plane than the rest. With free global shipping on orders of over $100 and unrivaled customer service, right now is the time to freshen up the look of your ride. Troy Lee Designs. Built for the world's fastest racers, Troy Lee Designs blends elite-level protection with a history of industry-leading style and performance. From motocross gear to custom paint to bicycle protection, Troy Lee Designs is waiting for you on the next level.
Welcome back, folks. That was your Troy Lee Designs Time Out. Get over to TLD, their website, troyleedesigns.com, and look at everything they've got going on. Helmet paint shop is open. They're still doing rad designs, new gear, new mountain bike stuff, all kinds of things over there. So check them out. DVR. Let's jump back in. We're at 2001. Your 2000 season was incredible, and you kind of said it beat you up just that many races. Physically, it kind of beat you up, but you were able to do some stuff that year that really very few people ever did. Catching and passing Jeremy and beating him straight up. Like you could cut a couple fingers off and count on one hand the number of guys who did that. Was that surprising you? That you were able to do that? Like you kind of said you always doubted yourself, but and I hear that a lot from guys, which surprises me. Like even Ricky, I always asked him, were you so confident you just went to the line knowing you were going to win? He's like, no, I was so stressed people were going to figure out what I was doing and beat me. He goes, fear of losing drove me.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing to have, and I think that's why he was successful. He never underestimated anyone, and then worked hard. And for Ricky, he had a tough career in terms of competition. He had to beat McGrath, he had to deal with the Reed.
Lusk, Wyndham. There's a lot of good guys he took down.
Stu. Yeah. There's a lot of good guys, and he was always there. So he had to adapt, adjust, work hard to stay on top for 10 years. Yeah. So it's crazy.
So when you beat Jeremy, what were you thinking? Like what was going through your head? Like,
I don't know. I almost felt normal. I was obviously happy I won my first race San Diego. I all shot it, and then I think Jeremy crashed on the start and got fourth, and so my first win in Supercross was maybe the easiest one. I started in front and then the road, and that was pretty much it. So it came pretty easy, but it was the third race of the season also. So it wasn't expected at all. But I was always fast, and when the track suited me, like I I felt like I could win. And physically I was good too, like I was strong at the end of the motos, even if I was still like kind of skinny and not much strength. But Phoenix, a lot of people talk about Phoenix race when I passed him just over a lap to go. Very rutted, the track was breaking down, and I was doing some getting out of the main line just to have better line out of the ruts, and that's why I passed him in that little dragon's back. But yeah, it's crazy because I don't think on the spot you realize you just, bit the best Supercross rider ever straight up. It was almost like normal, But
you look back now.
Yeah, looking back, yeah, it's pretty good. And we had there's a lot of people talk about Phoenix, either the fans or the media, but there's other ones that were really good, like New Orleans 2000 also. We raced, 17 laps together, and all the way until he kind of gave up maybe physically a little bit. But it only happens, and like a few times, still Jeremy was still the king and won 10 races that year. It was like,
he was so damn consistent was the problem.
I mean, it was consistent on the start. It was a very good, very technical. He could, if you could jump everything every lap in those years and go through the whoops, you were on the podium, So, and he was really good at starts, jumping everything, and the whoops.
Yeah.
So it was really, really tough to beat. But it was, but almost for me, it came almost too early, because after my 2000 season, and we're going to talk about 2001, but a lot of people were expecting me to do good and to win or fight for the championship, and didn't really happen for me.
So what did happen? Take me through the 2001.
2001 was...
your results definitely are not what they were in 2000.
Yeah, no good. I got hurt, and twice actually. But it took me a while to get going. I think I got sixth the first three races, 6-6-5. I think my first four races. I broke my ribs the Wednesday before the first race. I went over the bars at the test track, and so I rode like that. And I wasn't 100% obviously, and obviously Ricky was better. MC was still good, super good, very consistent. There's other guys like the Vuillemin or whoever was in the hunt, and maybe my preparation was not as good. I spent a lot of time in Europe. I thought at home. I rode at home. Came back. Same thing, a little bit late. I wasn't as prepared, and I got hurt. Broke some ribs, and it took me a while to get going. And finally, the race where I was good and I felt good. I won my heat race in Minneapolis, and I was running second in the main behind Ricky. Finally feeling, it was midway in the season or something, finally feeling better. And I know I lost my foot going into a turn, and went over a berm. It was pretty high berm, and I landed and broke my collarbone.
Oh, hit the concrete?
No, it was a dirt, but behind I landed on my collarbone, broke my collarbone, and that was a rough year, not only on the track. It's the year like me and my dad fought, and he went back to France, and that was it. So I was left on my own, 22 years old, 23 years old. That was a rough year, and so I was on my own in Minneapolis when I got hurt. Broke my collarbone and went to the hospital by myself.
I've had to do that.
It's March or something. It's snowing. You have a gear bag, you have a rental car, you have everything. You have to go back home the next day, and
you're trying to do it with one hand.
One hand, and you know, it's not a good feeling. Plus, you're not in the right spot on the personal side.
Yeah.
You know, like she did the fan with your coach, trainer, dad.
What I know your relationship was very tumultuous, which I wasn't aware it was that gnarly. What happened in that final fight? Like what kicked it off, and how did that go? You guys were.
I don't remember. I don't remember like after what race or something. We were at Lake Elsinore Supercross, and in 2001, I'm sure you rode there.
Yeah.
The track was super sketch.
Gnarly.
Sketch, huge triples, and
super slick when they'd put water down.
Super slick, like very peaky, and I hated going there. I don't know why I was there, and it wasn't a great day. It was windy, and I didn't really feel like it. And there was maybe other guys that were better, or like doing better lap times, and I wasn't having a good day. And so I stopped and I went the truck, and he started the same thing. Oh, you a piece of shit, and you know you suck. What are we doing here? And he spit on me, and that was, you know, I was sitting down and I was taking this abuse for, 10 years over since day one, basically. And now I'm 23. I won Supercrosses. I beat the best, and I'm bigger. And I'm like, that's it. So I flipped, and we fought.
Like legit
fight. We're on the dirt, throwing punches, and I got him like in a hold on the ground, and I tell him, "That's it. You're done. You're not touching me ever again." That was the last time. And then he said, "That's fine. F you, this, you suck, piece of shit. I'm going home. I don't want to stay with you, whatever." I'm like, "Fine. Just leave. You can leave tonight. We're done."
And you drove him to the airport, and
yeah, we got home. We got home. Like I was like, I'm terrified. Also, I'm driving home. I'm going. So my mom doesn't know at this time. She's home. So she comes. She start talking shit about me to my mom and this and that. He doesn't want us here, and we're going home. He called Air France, book a flight, and that day, and all the flight from France, they're late at night, like 9 o'clock at night or something. So I drive them to LAX, not a word, and then here and there I still like talking about something, and always putting me down, always. It was never good enough. Like I've won races where he was like bitching and telling me I sucked, and I rode like shit. Yeah, won some races. Like it was never good enough. And that day was, let me see the schedule. It was maybe after Indy or something. It was after another so good races, maybe February, mid-February or something like that. And I dropped them off, Tom Bradley terminal in LAX, and took their bags, and I didn't even say bye. I'm like, I drove away.
Was it hard because your mom, was it hard with her because she's kind of caught in the middle?
Yeah, my mom she was like, she was great. I still have to this day, she's, more than a mom, basically.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can be more than a mom, but best friend, I haven't seen her many times the last 20 years because I've been here, but I try to go, we call, we FaceTime, with this and that. When I bought a house, when I raced GPs at the end of my career, I bought a house, and then she moved in with me. My parents got in divorce like around 06 or 07. So she finally moved in, and now she lives in my house. And so yeah, she was also a victim. You know, it was always that was rough on her because she witnessed everything. She knows what happened. She knows everything. And some people saw some stuff at the races when I was riding 80s. You know, I was getting beat up between motos, and people saw like when I later on. But my mom knows. She knows the story from start to the end. But that day in 2001, when I was telling you off camera, you have no idea how relieved I was when I drove away from LAX on my own. I cried because I was alone.
You've never been alone. Your whole you know.
Yeah, I was
have
with
done everything together your whole
mom
time.
and dad. I think my dad missed one race.
Okay.
My entire career. It was in France. I was riding 80s or something. He had something to do. I don't know what it was. I don't remember exactly. But my mom was there, but he wasn't. There's only, and then every time I rode practice, or he was there.
Yeah.
And then so that was.
So like this huge sense of relief that all of that bullshit's done, but then also like, I'm alone. I just you know.
I'm alone. So I go back home alone and kind of have to deal with this stuff for a while, and the results are not there. I haven't done shit, and I come back. Like I said, I was doing pretty good. You can see like a top 5, 4. You know,
Yeah, fourth
like,
at Daytona, fifth at New Orleans, fourth at Salt Lake.
Yeah, but in Minneapolis, that's where I broke my collarbone. So like for a few weeks, I'm a month. I'm not.
Yeah, missed probably 2 races here or 3.
Like a few,
Yeah.
and I come back to Salt Lake, and I get 4th, which wasn't bad at all for a first race back. And I was doing good in Vegas that year, and then La Rocco swapped in front of me in the whoops, and I T-boned him in the whoops, and I eat shit, and I went to the hospital.
You did.
Yeah,
Did you ask where Frederick Bollet finished?
Not that time. So that was a rough Supercross season with an injury, and then finish on a bad note in Vegas. And we tried to regroup and go outdoors, and outdoors was not so hot either.
You did get a win at High Point, which is good, but your results are definitely not on par with what you were capable of for sure. I want to ask you though, you rode the Motocross of the Nations. Was that the first time that year for France?
No. I raced in '97 in Belgium. I raced in '98 in Fox Hills in the mud. I raced in '99 in Brazil, where I was a 250 guy, but I went down to 125 for that race. We finished second with Bole and Tortelli riding 250s, and I dropped down 125. 2000 I wasn't picked. I had a great season in the US. I wasn't picked to do it in France. That's the year.
Was that like a political thing because you weren't racing over there?
No, because Tortelli was doing good. Roncada was second in the outdoors behind Pastrana, so he had the 125 ride. Tortelli did great. He got second in the outdoors here, and Bole was world champ, 250. So
okay.
Yeah, I was kind of like bummed out not going because it was in France, and they ended up getting, I don't know what. I think Bode remember when he got a rock on his face and it broke his nose?
Vaguely, I remember seeing pictures of that.
That's the year Rhino, Ricky, and Pastrana were in the team. That's 2000. So I didn't do 2000. No, I did 2001. But 2001, I wasn't supposed to be there. Pichon was world champ 250. Something happened to him. Bole was also in the front in the 250 GPs. I don't know what happened to him. We were not the three of us that won this nation.
So who was with you in Namur? This was at Namur in 01, which is
Namur, yeah. After 9/11, with the USA did not go.
Yeah.
USA was supposed to be Ricky, Brown, and Wyndham. And I didn't even know I was in the US when 9/11 happened. It's funny because my dad called me out of nowhere in the morning. He's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I just woke up. I'm going down having breakfast." He says, "Turn the TV on." And that's what happened. So I wasn't, at that point, I don't know if I was selected yet, because it was Demaria, Luigi Segui, and me in Namur. But all three of us were not in the original team.
Oh, okay.
Something happened to the three other guys that were picked. I don't even know who it was, but I'm guessing it was Pichon and some other guys, I don't know who. And we didn't know if we were gonna come, and finally, like, flights, we couldn't find a flight to go home. And at one point they opened everything back up, and I'm like, okay, I'm going. And I went, but my team did not want to send anybody there, no mechanic, no nothing. And I flew with an engine that I blew out in first practice.
Okay.
That was great. And suspension from my outdoor suspension to ride here, and you go to Namur, which is a GNCC track, right?
Well, I wanted you to tell me a little.
It's not,
because I walked it. I went to Matei for that Superbike event, and we stopped because you go right past it. And I walked around, and you can kind of tell where the track goes a bit. I couldn't see exactly everywhere, but death-defying. Like, I would not have wanted to race there. You know, you see the videos of it, and then I like standing there and just seeing, okay, if you go off this, you're dead. You hit this tree at this speed, you're dead. Like, you could die 20 different ways around that track.
Yeah, and then you go on the road at one point. They put dirt, but the dirt washes away, and then you are like on asphalt. It's a very special race. That's the only time I raced there.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, that was my first and only time.
So what was that like? And winning? Pretty cool
we
there.
won. I went 4-3 or 3-4, and Demaria went 3-5 or 5-3 or something like that in his class. I don't even remember who rode what class. I think I had the green background, so I was thinking I rode the 250 class, not the open class. And yeah, crazy. It was tough we walked the track 2 or 3 times. But when you rode, like, stuff looked alike, and it was sketch.
Shadows. I mean, like
roots. The worst was like roots. There's roots everywhere. Like, you would get swapped out, and in the shadow, you couldn't see much. It was very interesting, and we ended up winning. It was fun. For me, like I said, I brought my factory engine the first practice or second practice on Saturday. So I rode the stock one from the bike that was there. My suspension were not
too stiff, probably.
Way too stiff. So we had to change some stuff in there. Because basically I was detonating so much, even on that track. So all the head and the cylinder on top was all like screwed up, so I couldn't use it. But yeah, the track, very interesting. It was didn't start very good, and I had to battle. I remember like I was with Joel Smets in my class. He was riding a 250 KTM, and I passed him twice, which was good for us because, you know, Belgium was, you know, the favorite at home without the US, so they were like huge favorite. So I did my part. That was good, and we had fun. We spent a week there, and then Demaria and Segui, I've known Yves for a long time, and Siggy also. We rode mini bikes together. A crazy ass guy. We had a lot of fun, and it was good. It was the first time for France, and it was good after like a rough season to have,
something good
happen. And but 2001 also, what's good about it is in the middle of the summer, there's Oxbow, Oxbow gear, called me and said, oh, we want you to ride Oxbow next year, and then we provide Jacques Vimon as a trainer for you just to rebound and try to do something. I trained with Jackie when I was in schoolboy class with the French Federation. He was working with them, and we did some schools, and so I really liked his approach of training, like very old school like. So we started working the last few nationals together. He came to my house and in 01, and then to get ready for 02. We raced Stade de France again, Bercy, with the Augsburg gear. He was here, and I stayed in my hometown and rode my tracks, trained on my tracks during that period of time.
Did you make a better track, or were you still on your 1 minute long?
Same crappy ass track, still there. And so we did some training, and then a lot of riding, some races. And I think all those races were kind of in a row, like This Nation, Stade de France, Bercy. There was like maybe 3 races in 4 weeks, so I stayed the whole time there, and then came to the US. Jackie came here, find a place to stay in Corona, and then we kept the work going, and I wanted to rebound after rough year, and I wanted to do good because I knew I had in me somewhere that I could win races.
And your deal with Yamaha was 2 years, right? So 2000, 2001?
Yeah, and at the end of 01, I signed again for 2 more.
Okay.
Basically with Yamaha, I signed 3 2-year deal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was your second contract better or worse?
Better.
Okay.
Yeah, more money.
I was gonna say 2000 was great, but then with 2001 being rough, I didn't know if they would
try
to lowball.
Yeah, more money. I think might have been around 600,000 a year, which was pretty good.
Pretty damn good.
Yeah, and and then the following, it worked out because at the end of 2001, they stopped doing the team gear with Fox, so we were open for gear. And that.
Did they pay well too? Oxbow?
No, it was small compared to other things because they were providing the trainer. They were paying the trainer, and they're paying his living expenses and everything. So I think my deal with Oxbow was 125,000 plus Jackie.
Okay. Which
at that time was pretty much half of what I could have gotten somewhere else. The following year, I think I got over 300 for gear. So, but it was
probably worth it in bonuses if it worked out, right?
Yeah, it was a sacrifice for me because I did not care about the money at that point. I wanted to get back into, having something scheduled, like a good training program, and so I could perform because I wasn't gonna have another year like that.
Yeah. Was he with you the whole season then?
Yes. All Supercross season, all the way. Something happened. She did defend around Southwick. He was kind of homesick. His wife didn't really like it here, and so I think he went back. It was a break maybe after Southwick or something, and then that was it basically.
Okay. Well, take us through that season. You obviously came in feeling good because, man, these, again, if I'm reading off your first rounds, it's 1-1, 2-3-3, 1, 3-2-3. I mean, this is your best season ever, you think?
Yeah, maybe 2000 and 2002, obviously, like they're pretty similar in terms of results and podiums, and I think I did the same amount of podiums, 14 but I won.
You had the injury in this year though, huh? The crash.
Yeah, crash in the middle. So, that was good. Yeah, I was leading the series, so Ricky got hurt, crashed
At the
on
opener.
at the opener,
Yeah.
and that Dragon's Back thing, like before the whoops. I win the first 2 races, and should have won the third one too, but something happened. I dislocated my knee at the gym, stretching, and I had to fly back to France the same day. Went to see my osteopath there, came back. He put my knee back together because he knew exactly the problem I've had. I never had ACL on my knee since I'm 13 years old.
Okay.
So I raced all my career with no ACL on my right knee, and sometimes it would pop out, dislocate, and that happened when actually Jackie was stretching me on the mat, maybe too much, pushing on my tib, and my knee popped out, and huge pain. I just won. It was the Sunday after the second race. It was a Sunday. We were at the gym after San Diego, and I won the first 2 races, and now I'm in the flight to France Sunday night with a bunch of French fans and friends. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? I have crutches on. I'm like, dude, I have my knee. I need to go home. I see my guy, puts me back. The guy is my osteopath in France. He's been following me since I'm like 12 or 13. He knows me, and he knew exactly what it was. He took me in like super late. Like
So it was out the whole time you're flying back?
Yeah. And so I got there. I land. I go straight to his office, and then stay there for an hour, and then we worked on some stuff. Pop it back in. He's like, you'll be fine. Just strap it. When you ride, just don't ride until the race, and then just tape it tight for the race, for the first one at least, and then you'll be fine. But the problem is, so Jackie did my tape, and we went overboard too tight.
Too tight and cut the circulation off.
And I was doing good. I was leading, and my leg was on fire. And Rocco, passed me. I let him go. My leg was on fire. I couldn't do anything. I had it was getting numb, and my muscle had no blood flow. It was getting my quad and my calves. I had arm pump basically.
Yeah.
And I finished, same thing. I took my pants off. I just unwrapped everything, but I still got second, so that was good. And then I was leading all the way to the halfway through the season after Atlanta. I think Atlanta was before the break, and I was supposed to do a photo shoot for FMF and Transworld.
This was at the old White Sands place, wasn't it?
It was at a quarry by off Cayalco Road.
Yeah, we called it White Sands. Had that step down, and it's like a big pit, right?
Yeah, but I know White Sand from Terra Firma, but I never saw White Sands there. But,
Oh, okay.
It was a different spot.
Okay.
But so I go there, and then we're gonna do some photo shoot on Saturday morning, and real quick, just to go there for an hour. I knew some jumps, I've jumped them 1,000 times. That was not that hard. I don't know what happened. I spun or something, and I was warming up and just do a little jump, not so big, and something happened on the takeoff, and then I kind of went over the balls and knocked myself out for a while.
Did you jump off or
I just went off, and then head first, and then I hurt my shoulder, broke my shoulder blade basically. Same thing, go back to France. It says you can't do shit about it. If your surgery gonna take you 3 months, so you're leading a championship, you can, same thing, tape it, and I would put some warming cream on just to not feel the pain.
distract you a little bit, basically?
Yeah, and I tried to ride Daytona, and no way. I did one lap in practice, and I went home, and I just went to the track. I was done. And but I only missed one race, but
Can't give up 25 points,
I lost. Yeah,
especially to Ricky.
I had 20-point lead, and I had a 5-point deficit after Daytona, and I never caught up. I couldn't, perform. I still podium a bunch of, with a bad shoulder, but that was it.
I mean, did that eat at you for a while, or were you just kind of like, oh well, what are you gonna do? Like, it's one of those things.
But it's 100% my fault. Like, I shouldn't do that during a season. But also that's something I've done many times. Like, for us, riding a dirt bike at that point is very easy.
Yeah.
But it could have happened in a set of whoops at the Yamaha track. Like, going to the Yamaha track was more dangerous than what I was doing in the hills.
Yeah.
Those were like just straight jump.
Yeah.
With nothing behind, nothing in front.
It's not like you were doing a backflip like Josh Hill.
Yeah.
Or, trying something crazy.
Yeah. So that's I could have gotten out at the test track, because riding Supercross at the Yamaha track is more dangerous than doing a step up in the hills, 100%. But obviously people will see it differently and say, "Oh, I should have done that." But
did it bug you though? Like, did it eat at you?
No,
like, I was leading.
Yeah, and 20-point lead, 8 runs to go. Still, it was far to be over.
Yeah,
but, I just, only on a personal and a selfish way, I just wanted to know if I was able to win it. Not because to say, oh, I'm a Supercross champ or this or that. Just to prove myself, like the life goal that somebody choose for me a while ago, 10 years ago, that we would get the ultimate title in the sport. I just wanted to prove myself that I could have done it. But if you look back, there's not too many. There's no championships that Ricky ended that he didn't win.
Yes.
So
that's true.
And there's none. Like, he didn't win. Why he didn't win his first 2 rookie years? He got hurt in San Diego. He got a foot peg to his thigh, and then the next year he got 3rd or 4th or whatever. But after that, if you look at it, like, he never lost.
He was unstoppable.
So I cannot tell you today, like, oh yeah, I would have won that title. So against a guy that never lost, I can't tell you that.
Well, even with that injury, I mean, like you said, you came back and you were second,
second,
third, and 4th at all the finishing rounds. So
yeah, it was tough. Like, I couldn't case anything with my shoulder. I had to be very precise.
Any drawing was like,
it was a very sharp pain. And it's funny because the first race I do after Daytona, look it up, it's New Orleans, and then the first lap of practice, I cased the finish line jump so hard, and my shoulder like hurt so bad on the first lap. I was like, dude. But I could brace, and then I went around the whoops. There was no whoops on Friday, but even on Saturday, I did not go through the whoops.
During the day?
All practice, yeah. I went to the whoops the first time in the heat race. Because that was the
pulling back.
The tougher spot. Like the jump, if I was precise and landing, like downsiding everything, it was fine. But the whoops was rough on my shoulder. So no whoops. It was no time qualifying back then. You were going.
Top 10 were straight in. Right?
Yeah. So I didn't have to go fast. I just did it on the track, and then I just went to the whoops in a race.
You started out the Nationals pretty good. Glen Helen with a 4th, 2nd at Hangtown, 5th at High Point, and then it kind of went sideways on you, and it looks like you didn't finish. Did you get hurt again, or just get your shoulders?
I did good. Podium, Hangtown, second moto in the mud. No, I don't know if you remember. In between motos, a big shower. Who went in the big mud, the second moto.
I didn't go that year. So.
And So yeah, fourth in Glen Helen. And I did good. I always did good at Hangtown. I always liked this track for some reason. Maybe the closest to home almost. Ipon, so, and in Southwick I rolled my ankle like bad, and in the first moto, I think, and that was it. It went under the foot peg kind of, and I did a race, and I came back. I took I missed some races. And then
It looked like you took a month off, came back for 2, and then you were done again.
Yeah, and then I crashed on my shoulder at Troy. I never got my shoulder fixed. So, and I sighted one of those ruts. It was a left-hander, and I caught something, I don't know what. And then I went this way, and I landed on my hurt shoulder, and I heard a pop, like something happened in there. So I went back to France and got it fixed, and I was done for the year. Troy, Ohio. That was my last. That was my last race of the year.
Okay. So you get the shoulder fixed. You stayed in France during the off season.
I come back. It's funny because the same thing. I was not talking to my parents. So I flew with Erica. My future ex-wife. She was not my wife then, and she's not my wife anymore. But so she flew with me, and I guess I wasn't supposed to get surgery that early, but they had an opening or whatever, and we still had flights booked. So I got surgery. She stayed like a couple of days, and she came home. And I stayed and I did all my rehab, and that was a major surgery. I was 3 months out.
So it was your scapula was cracked?
Yeah, on the top.
So they played it or screwed it, or would they?
No, they put a piece of bone from the bottom of my shoulder blade, like, and then they screw it back up inside, and they put my muscle over the bone instead of behind right here. So now, like, if I can't open anymore here.
Okay.
So they blocked it that way because it was really bad. And I thought when I woke up the first week, I'm like, I'll never race again.
Pain was that bad?
Shoulder was like insane. I was in hospital for a week, and I was asking for like drugs. I'm like, give me drugs. I'm like, every time I moved a little bit, like it was so bad. And I had this pump, the morphine pump, that would give you a little bit.
Every hour or something, you could hit it or something.
Yeah, but I was gonna eat it all the time. I'm like, and the surgeon's a friend, and he says, don't push it. It has a timer. You have to wait, and there's so much you can get. I'm like, dude, but I'm dying in pain. He said, shoulders, one of the most the toughest surgery, to get back from. You gotta be patient. You're gonna hurt for a while. And I stayed in France for most of my rehab and stuff, and then came back around October, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how did things look going into 03?
03, a little different because now you have Yamaha is a little different because Jim Perry comes from PC. Management is a little different. Really signed his deal to ride the factory Yamaha after. He's a new hotshot, new guy. I'm hurt, so I get back riding late. I still managed to get ready to be able to race the first World Supercross races, Geneva and Arnhem in Holland. That was in December.
That was the mud race, right?
No, that Seville.
Arnhem?
No,
Seville. Was
Seville.
right.
Seville was the mud race. Arnhem was inside. It was like very redded. And I come back. I win Geneva. I got second behind Reed at Arnhem, so pretty good. And but short preparation physically and everything. So 03 not got some podiums and here and there, and all the way to Daytona. I get second the week before Daytona in Indy maybe. I do third or second or something. I pass Reed. I'm getting back pretty good. Maybe Ricky won in Indy. Yeah, I get third in Atlanta, second in Indy, and then there's Daytona. And it was raining. It was wet.
Oh, that was that mudder where did Reed's bike? Oh, that was later.
That was 08.
Yeah.
And that was 03, was muddy, and day race. And there this on-off with that white dirt. You know, the white dirt was like super slick. And I went for the on-off, and I spun so bad on a tabletop, and then just went over the bars and broke my back.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I broke T5, T6. So my back hurts, we don't know. Like, I got I was down for a while, lost my breath and stuff. So we decided to get checked out, my back checked out. Good thing we did. I didn't go ride the semi or the last chance, whatever it was. So I go to the hospital. I said, yeah, T5, T6 broken, but not broken towards the
spinous processes, or what was it?
Yeah, but it was close to. It was not broken towards the inside. It was like on the side of the vertebrae.
Yeah.
So that was like kind of lucky. So right there, I'm like off for a while again. And I think after like this injury, maybe thought about, some stuff. You get hurt. I got hurt the year before, like while leading the championship. I get hurt when I'm getting back into it again. You always think like, what, somebody's after me, kind of.
Yeah.
I don't believe in that, but that's all you think. Like, oh, I was doing good. I got third Atlanta. I got second in Indy. Behind Ricky, I passed Reed, like the two best guy. I'm getting back into it. And in the heat race at, a fluke thing in Daytona, I broke my back. I'm out for, a couple months at least. So that's kind of rough, a little rough. But same thing, contract season. I come back for the nationals. I might gotten like a podium or two or something, but not lighting the world on fire outdoors. And still managed to sign another deal though. I signed a 04, 05 again for Yamaha. And at the end of 03, I go to home again. I race Bercy. I go down. I race Bercy on a 250F. I ride a Yamaha offshore bike. That was kind of fun. I really liked to race in France, in Paris, which was Bercy or Stade de France, because we raced in the US. It wasn't home, all year. And it feels, feel good races.
Yeah.
Like you see a lot of friends, you have family coming, and then.
Well, plus you have history as a kid going there and watching guys who would end up being your heroes, right? There's a lot of emotional history and actual history there for you.
Yeah, because that's where it kind of started for me. But more about like having the crowds for you, and then and I always like racing there, like the atmosphere and
speaking French, actually get to speak your language, probably,
and eat a good croissant once in a while. So I went down and I made the sacrifice basically to ride a 250, which was like very, very challenging.
Because you hadn't really done any four-stroke.
No four-stroke
at all.
Outdoors. I would the 450.
In
03.
3, okay.
03, like that's the first year we went 250 two-stroke indoors and then 450 outdoor. We decided like couple weeks before the first race. Really stayed with the two-stroke, but I went up. But Supercross was weird. You have to think about it. It's a carburetor bike. They bug. Like when you land hard, like pop, pop, there's always that little bug. Yeah. So it was a little.
The two-strokes were. You guys had them so tuned and dialed in.
Yeah, two-stroke was like super crisp.
Yeah.
So coming down to 50th was a little challenging, but I think I went 2 the first night, second the first night, second the second night. I think first night behind Andrew Shaw, he was riding a 125 Suzuki. The second night I got second to GL on a 125 KTM. And I finally won the last day and won the overall, which was cool.
And you, speaking of Bercy, you have the record there for
4 wins.
In your stats here, let's see, 4-time winner of King of Bercy, and it's almost 30 years old. I guess maybe it's around 30 years old at this point. No one's won more there than you have.
Yeah.
That's a pretty cool little feather in your cap.
Yeah, it's. I'm not from Paris, historically people from Marseille hates Paris.
Oh, really?
It's like a very soccer rivalry, and it's a rivalry also of the capitals. We fought to be capitals. Yeah. Our city is the first city in France, but Paris is the most populated, whatever. But I always did good in Paris. They had 4 Stade de France, the stadium where they had the Walker finals in '98. I won the 4 races they ever had there, and I won 4 times Bercy in the main class, and then 2 times in the 125 class. So I had a lot of success in Paris. Yes,
yeah, that's cool.
And then so that's why every time I had the opportunity to do it, obviously it was good money, but when you make $1 million, what's 50,000? It wasn't really much about the money. It was really for the experience and the fact that I wanted to race in front of the French crowd, basically, at least once a year.
Yeah.
I think that's the last time I won. I should have won another one, but that's the last time I won, 2003.
So this 04 season, again, you have great finishes, man. Second at the opener, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think 6 podiums, 7 podiums.
I think it's maybe 8. 4, maybe 8 podiums. I think I podium half of the races, if I remember right, or maybe not. But always, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. Dino win a race. 04, Reedy and Wyndham were like better than me, and then I think I finished behind LaRocco in the championship, which I think he got 3rd. I think that I get 4th in Supercross and 4th outdoors. And same thing the following year in 05.
Yeah.
4 and 4.
4, 4, 4, 4.
Yeah. So, but 04 was actually a pretty okay season. I was a little off the pace to win a race, but
Reed was really, that was kind of his.
Yeah, he was a better Supercross rider than I was. So there's no.
Does anything stand out from that season for you?
The first race when we podium, Yamaha podium.
Oh,
1, 2, 3. Reed, me, and Ferry. That was cool, and overall it's great to win, but when you don't win, it's cool when your teammate does.
Yeah.
Some people I'll see nowadays they're bummed out when a teammate wins, and at the stage of my career right there, I'm like I knew it would take a lot of work to be a Reed. He was like so good in 04, and ultimately he became a better rider than me. So if he puts the work and then he's better, he's more prepared, faster, fitter than I am, it's on me, right? So I'm happy for him.
Yeah.
So I think in that those years, we had a rough 2003 with Reed and I. The first year he was in the team, he was a little young and difficult. He's still difficult to this day, but I think our relationship was a little better after. I was happy for him to win a championship. You know, it's same story. He's not coming from France, coming from Australia, but he struggled. He had no money. He went to Europe with nothing, and you know, it's a success story too.
Yeah,
you come
absolutely.
here, you win a title, you make a lot of money. You know, he grinded and hustled. So yeah, as a team, that was a good year, and I did good in outdoors too at the beginning. It's funny because I have a stat. I think somebody can maybe check that. I might be 99% sure, but so Ricky went 24-0 in 04. All right.
Okay.
And then the closest guy in a moto that year, that was me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was in Hangtown, first or second moto. I was like a handful of seconds behind. But that's the closest a guy was to him in his 24. That's my only good start of the year. And I think I got second in that first race. Did I get second?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I got second, yeah.
You crushed Hangtown and High
I
Point.
won, yeah.
You were really good there.
Yeah, I like Hangtown.
So, your last year with Yamaha, you're in 05. Anything stand out from that season? Lots of top fives. You got one podium.
It's tough with the bike. We had a rough time with the new frame, with the aluminum frame. We had a tough time.
You're all on 4 strokes at this time, right?
No, 05, 250.
Oh, you're still 252 stroke. Okay.
Yeah, even really at this time.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was a little more rigid, huh? So the stuff you guys had used in the past.
and they also changed the swing arm too. The swing arm was different. And then we had a tough time in the whoops where we were very good in them for the longest time.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a traction problem in the whoops. And so we went back to back and we liked the steel frame, but there's no way we're going to be able to ride the steel frame. So we had to make it work somehow. And we changed, I think we put a 04 swing arm back on. I think it was a little better with a few things. I think also the forks, like the big
diameter stuff not working.
Yeah, those cone thing. People think like the bigger it is, the stiffer it is, but it's kind of like the opposite way. The bigger and stronger a fork is, has less flex. Less flex means more go in and out. So it was very good outdoors. Supercross, not as good. But yeah, I got fourth again. I didn't podium one race in 05 in Supercross. None.
Yeah.
Zero. But still,
Lots of fourths. Geez, you're
Yeah.
like 6 fourth place finishes.
yeah, I was in the top 5 all year. I got finished fourth again. And I think did I podium Hangtown again? Yes.
Yeah, you did.
I podium Hangtown again. You know.
They need to put a monument up to you there.
Yeah.
So, all right, you get through this season, and this is when you went to was it Buku Honda in 06?
Yeah.
Tell me about that deal, because that was like they did the TV show Reality of Speed,
Yeah,
right?
all this stuff, yes.
This was your trip to you lived in Dallas for a little while.
Yes. And so at that point, I have a contract for 06 with Yamaha, 1-year deal. Basically, it's just a 1-year deal, maybe half of the money, and I have to ride the 4-stroke. At that point in 05, everybody, other than some Honda guys, they're on 2 strokes. Ferry rides the 4-stroke. He's having a lot of issues. He's losing the carb one time his bike is bugging. They don't know why. He crashes hard. We see him come back with a 252 stroke at one point because he wasn't confident in the bike anymore in Supercross. So at that point, I still want to race. I want to see what's out there. I don't have much options. I have this contract, which I can find. I found it. I just moved like over a month ago, and I found a box of all my old contracts
Yeah.
and stuff, and I found the offer that I never signed
From Yamaha.
for 2006.
Okay.
So if it was 450,000, like close to half of the money that I was making the year before, and right the 4-stroke.
In and out, indoors and out.
Yeah, but money, I made a lot of money already in the first 6 years here, so money was not really a big deal. But to tell you the truth, I was scared about the bike because I've seen what happened with Ferry and stuff. So I don't want
Henry. I mean, there's been some.
Yeah, but I was right there at the track when he lost a carburetor or when a bike bugged for no reason and he went over the bars, you know. So I was like, I ain't doing this.
Crash test dummy.
Yeah, I'm not doing this. And it turned out that the 06 was actually good, and then they fixed a bunch of problems. But
who wrote it in 06? Who took that deal?
That's a good question.
Was it Ferry?
I'm not really sure. I know Reedy was still there.
Okay.
In 06. But I'm not really sure.
Okay.
I think it was Reedy and Voss.
Oh, Voss.
It had to be.
Okay.
So at the time I need to sign the deal. I did not try the 06 yet. I don't know if the bike's going to be good, more reliable. I got hurt enough on my own problems.
Yeah.
I don't need to add more on it. So I wasn't really confident. So I said, I'm going to say no. And I was working with OMS, Fred Bramlett back then. And then he came up with this deal with that Buku thing. There was Samsung back before that.
Yeah.
And I've seen the show and I'm like, yes, no. So I went there, I tried the bike, a 250 Honda. It was all right. It wasn't a factory bike, but I could ride around. And we ended up doing this deal, which was, Supercross only, more money because 2-year deal. That was pretty much, for me, when I signed this deal, it's my last 2 years. After.
You're kind of thinking, okay, this will be my last deal.
Las Vegas 07, I'm done. So we moved all the family to Dallas. We buy a house. So we load up a U-Haul truck and I drove.
Was that part of the deal? You had to live in Dallas? They wanted you living on site for the
TV show. So obviously that doesn't work. We start on a 2-stroke, then we go after a couple of races. We go to the 4-stroke, and I got a 10-9 or something, and then she did the fan. I got a full problems, and I missed the main in St. Louis, and I crashed in Daytona. Missed the main too. I'm like, no, I'm done.
Was it the bike or just kind of the whole package?
Yeah, it wasn't good. It wasn't good to be competitive. So I was like, I wasn't competitive. Equipment wasn't competitive. So I was like, okay, we got to stop this stuff. So we find a way to just break contract, and that's it. So, and they were cool about it. They knew there wasn't working. They were paying me a bunch of money for no results. I think the TV show worked pretty good because there was a lot of drama. They were good at editing the stuff, it was
typical Hollywood, right? Did they script anything? Or
some
tell you,
stuff.
Hey, go in and yell at this guy.
No, not like this, but there was some stuff. Some days we have to do and stuff. It's a reality show, but it's not very real.
Right.
Some stuff it's scripted.
Yeah.
But I think the show did good, and a lot of people loved it. I don't think I looked very good in it, but who cares? It doesn't really change my life today,
No.
But the breakup was pretty smooth, where we decided that's it. You stop paying me, and then I'll stop, and you guys can keep going, and I'm done. So I lived the family in Texas for a while, and I'm eating a ankle injury from Daytona that I heard. So I cannot ride at that point. I'm like, I'm gonna take a couple weeks off and figure out if I can do the nationals. And I called around, and I need a bike just to keep riding and then do some training. In Dallas is tough, it's not like California. So I take a bunch of stuff. I take another U-Haul trailer on my truck, and I drove all the way here. I stay at the buddy's house in Menifee. So you can stay here wherever you want. So I put my stuff there, and I called Keith and I said, hey, do you have a, I don't know why I called Keith first, but I said, oh, can I get like a loan bike or something, just so I can just keep riding and maybe get ready for the nationals and train in case something open and I can get a ride and do the nationals. So we made we find a way, like Keith says, oh, I can give you bikes and parts, and I can give you the bonus program you had last year as a factory guy. So I'm like, cool, but it says I can't put you in a factory truck. You have to find a truck, but I give you all the bike and parts. Plus, if you podium, we'll pay you bonuses. I thought that was a fair deal. So I shopped around, and so I ended up with Motor World. They were a Yamaha team, but they were O'Neill gear, and I needed to make a little bit of money. I wasn't going to ride for free. I needed something. I still had gear for my helmet, my goggles, boots no, because that was part of the Boku deal. But the only money I got basically is from gear, like No Fear. Gave me a little bit of money for the nationals. I got Motor World to pay my expenses, Yamaha to the parts, and we went on to race nationals, and they actually turned out pretty good.
Yeah, your results. I
did a podium or light the world on fire, but I was top privateer, and got some top 5s, 4, 5. So.
Well, you did podium at Spring Creek.
Yeah, I forgot about that one.
The mutter of all mutters.
Yeah. That's funny because you were announcing the race.
Yeah, I was doing
you remember when Stu and Chad was stuck in that uphill, and I went by him,
and you like a fist bump.
Yeah. I was like that. Yeah, that was funny. I was actually lapping him. They were getting lapped. Dude, right there. They were stuck for a while.
That was a crazy mud race. I mean,
and then Bubba go fast, and then he hit a guy, and then he hit shit again.
That whole scene was comedy. But yeah, I was really glad I wasn't on the track.
So talking about like Keith and stuff and Yamaha. So before the nationals, he said to me, "We'll give you bonuses just like if you were a factory guy." Okay. My bonuses from 05. So second, I don't know what it was. It was second at Millville, was maybe like 25, 30,000 or something like that. Okay. Maybe more. I don't remember the exact amount. And I never signed a deal. I never signed a contract. I never signed anything with Keith. And he said, I give you the bikes, the parts you need to race. So you have a practice bike and you have a race bike. We do anything you want for those. And bonuses if you podium. That's what I can do. Never sign anything. And all of a sudden, a few weeks after Millville, I get a check for
just showed up, huh?
30 or 35,000 or whatever. The guy,
that's cool.
It's cool because
was it just for podiums though? No bonuses 4th through?
No, 10? Like when you're a factory guy, you only get top 3 basically. So I thought that was really cool, and then it was only his word. He kept his word, and it was nice of him. Yeah.
That's all. That speaks a lot about his integrity. I like that. All right, so 06 ends, then what? Now you ended up at MDK.
Yeah, so 06 ends. Motor World was temporary. I wasn't going to race with them the following year. So I'm talking to Factory KTM to drop down and ride 250. But if you fact check me, in 06 in the Buku at Buku, I missed a bunch of races. I was horrible. I still finished 20th in the standings. And I think there was a rule then.
Yeah.
If you do top 20, you couldn't drop down in the 250 class for like
3 years.
3 years or no license or whatever, something like that. So that didn't work. I think I was talking to Kurt Nico. He wanted me to maybe see if I was interested. I'm like, why not? I was more interested about outdoors. It would be fun to do it on the 250 because I've never done it in a small class. And why not dropping down? That's a job, every factory rider, money. And then, so with that rule for one spot, it screwed me for that thing. And then I was talking to a couple guys, and MDK seemed like it was the best option. So I kept my gear, and then the team looked pretty good. Nick Way had a good season with them before. I would have my former mechanic, my first ever mechanic, Brett Myron.
Oh, Brett Myron was back with you?
The guy that first wrenched for me in the US in 96.
Brent's been around a long time.
Yeah.
He's a South African guy, right?
Yeah. So, and that was a fun season. That's one of the most fun season I've had.
Is that right?
Yeah, no pressure.
So
we had
was Nick with the team again?
Yeah, Nick was in there, but he had a tough year for some reason. I don't know why. Something happened. He didn't race many races because I remember being alone at the races, a lot. He got hurt or something. I don't remember exactly what happened. And I think I finished 5th or 6th in the series, which was like pretty good. Top privateer. I was doing good. I was like, at the beginning of the year, I was super fast. Like I was doing like top 3 lap times in practice. And I ate shit in in Phoenix. I went over the bar. They red flagged the race because of me. In the rim section, I caught something, came short, and then hit the next jump, and bada boom, like big crash. They red flagged the race.
In the main.
Yeah, for me. So I didn't have that, obviously. The next few weeks were rough after Phoenix. And when I got back going, it was pretty fun. But, between 5 and 8, and between 5 and 8.
Yeah.
But I got finished 5th, top privateer again. I won a trailer. I won a Weekend Warrior trailer.
There was a pretty good check for that, huh? For top privateer? Wasn't there money?
I think it was 25,000.
Yeah.
Yeah,
beats
pretty good. And I think my bonus at MDK to be top privateer was also 25,000. So that was a pretty good thing.
Nice.
And the bike was great. That was the Honda, the 07 450 Honda was really good. And
that was a good bike.
They had the engine was being done in-house. By a guy, there was Pete and Eric in Northern California. They were doing a good job. And suspension by RG3, which
Rob's awesome. Yeah.
Rob is great. We tested like 1 or 2 days in both Supercross and motocross. Never touch valving all year long. Just click, sag, and that's it. I race like that. I love years like that.
Yeah.
You don't chase anything. The bike is good enough. And I was doing good outdoors too.
Did you have an injury at Millville?
Yeah.
I have that in my notes, but I don't remember what happened.
And I was also, I wanted to do top privateer both because I had bonuses from the team, and I was first privateer then. I was started like top 10 or whatever in Millville. I think it was the second moto. And Bobby I was kind of inside of the first down here after the first turn, and then he cut across like
Who
that.
is this?
Bobby, Antonio
Oh,
Bobby.
Bobby. Yeah, Bobby.
And then he took my front end, and then I crashed hard. But I was like in the first group, kind of mid-pack, 10, 12, or whatever. And then like a bunch of guys run over me. Same thing, took a nap right there.
Oh, you were out.
Yeah. And then broke my back again. Same spot. Same vertebrae, different spot, I should say. And same thing, I broke a sternum, collarbone,
Jeez.
ribs, back. I was in rough shape. I stayed in Rochester, Minnesota hospital, Mayo Clinic for a few days. I had bruises in my back, like I was in a fight with the mountain lions. Full of sand. They didn't really touch me there. And then when they wanted to clean me, I was screaming. It hurt. I had like open wounds everywhere. So that was rough. And I had the guy from Answer stay with me though. That was cool. His name was Lindsay. It was
Paul Lindsay?
No,
Not the Motor World guy.
No. It was I don't remember his last name. His first name was Lindsay. He was a Answer rep, bringing gear to the races and stuff. And he stayed with me for a couple of days at
the Mayo Clinic.
At the clinic, and that was nice because I was alone again. I was alone at the race, and he put me on the flight back, and I flew straight from Minneapolis to San Diego, and my wife got me right there at the airport, all like screwed up,
beat up.
Had a broken collarbone, back, ribs, sternum, and I was like. So that was it for a while.
So that was the end of 2007.
Yeah.
What happened next?
Then before Millville in a Redbud 2007, actually before Redbud, around in the summer, Suzuki contacted me to ride with them and develop and test, more like a test rider kind of guy, and still go to the races for the new EF5 bike. So I was like excited to go to like a factory team again and all that. Money was okay, and at the same time I had a 2-year deal with MDK, and they were switching to KTM. I went and tried the KTM back then. So it's summer of 2006. And that bike is not made to ride Supercross. I have a 450. I have to hit everything in first gear outside the turn. Out of the turns, I stop. I'm like, guys, you need a new gearbox here. Like, the gearbox is wrong. You know, like, I cannot put like 4 or 5 teeth in the back just to be able to do stuff in second.
Yeah.
Like, the gearbox is off. You need something else for Supercross. You cannot ride like that. So I'm not fitting it going to KTM. I never rode anything than Japanese bikes, and it feels so great.
Back then, they really had a different feel. Like they were a weird feeling bike.
They were like top heavy, and not like now. Now they look like nimble and good, but so I get out of my deal. I get out of my MDK deal, which cost me $50K, and same kind of deal. You just stop and you deal with like not getting paid the last 2 payments or whatever, and then So it cost me basically $50,000 to get on my deal, and then I signed the Suzuki contract, and I gave them back at Redbud. So that's before Millville and before I get hurt bad again. So when I'm in the hospital I'm gonna be a Suzuki guy. I'm kind of excited about it, but I'm off for like a couple months with all these injuries, and I come back October or something, and the bike is not good.
Oh no?
No, the bike is rough. Bike is heavy. It's slow. It feels slow with the EFI, like very linear, no hair. Never clean, issues
really?
with CDI and the fuel. Only one kind of fuel at one point works. The other, you put other fuel, the bike seems like it's in as the choke on. Rough at the beginning. So I get hurt again. I
Pre-season?
Yeah, I get hurt the water of the track, and I spun on the face of the triple, and I cased the shit out of it, and I kind of like sprained my thumb, so I'm off like a few weeks, and at that point I'm like, same thing. I'm not having it. I'm not messing with the bike. I'm like, the bike is. The other guys look good. I can't do it. I don't know.
Who else is testing this with you?
Alessi's in the team, Mike Alessi and Michael Brown.
Okay.
So I don't know what kind of parts I have. I don't know if I have new parts that need to be tested. I don't know if I have the good ones. I think at that point it didn't even start, and they see like I'm not having it. Like I'm testing, and I say the same thing every day. I'm like, there's a problem with ECU. There's a problem, like the fuel is not right. The bike is not clean. EFI should be like the cleanest there is. And it wasn't. And then we'll change fuel on this. And it's funny because I was talking to Ian, who works at KTM now, like 14 years later, says, oh yeah, there was a problem with ECU.
You're like, oh no shit.
I'm like,
I'm pretty sure I mentioned that.
You're 14 years, you tell me that 14 years later?
So you still raced it though all year?
Yeah, I raced all year, and then crap, zero. I'm not having it.
Fourth of Daytona on it, that's pretty good.
No, but it's the mud race.
Oh, that's the mud.
Yeah, I think I get seventh in the standings. Is that seventh, it says?
Eighth. Eighth in the Supercross.
Outdoors I did I only do 3 races and I'm done.
Okay, yeah. And were you were supposed to do them all, but you just said, I'm out?
Yeah, we stopped like, same thing, I crashed again at the comp edge after the first race. It goes bad. Another hit to the head, knee. I tore my meniscus. Go back to France, get my meniscus cleaned up, come back for Butts Creek, not prepared. Not going well, and then we say, you know what, that's it, we're done.
Let's call it.
Yeah, let's call it a season.
Okay, so I thought you had retired after that season, and then somewhere I read you went back and did some GPs for a Kawasaki team.
Yeah, French team, bird racing team. So at the end of same thing, they came to the summer away, and then they asked, it'd be cool if you race for us, French team, like you can, get a place by us. They based at the French Huntington Beach, basically.
Okay.
The
which is called what? Like what?
Oscar. Okay. That's where like Billabong, Quicksilver, all those companies right there. It's a surf city. Super nice. In the winter, it's dead. It's as dead as it gets. But and Jackie Vimon, the guy that trained me in 02, trains the guys of the team.
Okay.
And I'm like, maybe I'll do it. Money is okay. It might be good for my kids they didn't start elementary school yet. Maybe to go in France and put them in a French public school. They went to so we have in France we have a free preschool. It starts as 3 to 3, 4, 5. So 3 years of preschool, you can put your kids there. It's like and then you go to elementary school. They went to the same exact school I went to.
That's cool.
Yeah. And so we bought a house. So that was an opportunity to have a base in France too. We bought a house, we remodeled in a couple months. It was ready for us to move in around November or something. Nice place in my hometown where I was born. And it was cool. We were close to family. My grandmother was still alive. I lived a mile away. My mom also. My dad was right there. And I said, let's do it. And Erica and the kids were small, so they didn't have much say.
Yeah.
But and so yeah, let's do it. That'll be fun. So we traveled with the kids and stuff, and it was nice. The kids stayed here for a while, and I went to train and by the team. I rented a small apartment, and I was like super dedicated. Did everything. I was like 30. So I was 31, just turned 31, and I'm like, I'm gonna do whatever they tell me to do, like Jackie, because I have confidence in them. And so we went on morning runs around the lake. We went a lot of riding, and obviously the equipment was not great. It was a
What were you riding?
private Kawi.
But 4-stroke?
Yeah,
At this time? Okay.
450 Kawasaki. It was a privateer, so the equipment was not up to par to race GPs against the good bikes. So I had fun. Won the French championship, and that was it.
Yeah. Any good finishes that year? Any highlights?
I think I did a top 5 in Spain, but yeah, not.
Was it fun to go back and hit all those GP tracks again and kind of?
Yeah, I think for the atmosphere, it was nice. Like the fans, the crowds, racing in France. I did the old French nationals, so we did a bunch of. That was cool for me to do that again. Yeah, French crowd, which I've known. Sometimes you see fans year after year. The same guys.
Yeah.
I've seen fans I haven't seen in 10 years. It's still there.
Yeah.
Wearing the same hat or something.
Still looking a little older. A little more wrinkly.
Yeah, that's it.
Was it tough then after that season to call it a career, or were you kind of like, I'm ready?
No, I was done. Yeah. I was ready to be done after the Suzuki year. And looking back, I should have started after the MDK, after my crash in Millville, my last big one. I should have said, that's fine. Just, I should have called Suzuki, said, you know what, I know we had a deal, but I'm not in a rough shape. It's going to be tougher next year. Just like, you can find somebody else or something. I think that would have been fine. But Europe was tough because obviously it's a private job. Bike was not as good. I thought I was more ready. Like I worked really, really hard in the winter. A lot of sacrifices. I lived in a 400 square foot apartment for a few months, and just doing that, like we would go kayaking, we go run, bicycle, ride all the time. We came in the US in January to ride. We came to my house in Marietta with Gauthier Paulin was my teammate. He was riding for them. And same thing, like hitting all those tracks and riding, training. So I lost a bunch of weight, and I felt good physically and everything. It was a little too late to be competitive in the GPs against all the big guys. Yeah,
young kids. It's hard to beat youth. You had 14 years though as a pro, and that's a long time. You can look at pretty much everybody's career, and it's inside of a 10-year window. So anytime you go past that is like kind of borrowed time. There's some exceptions to the rule. LaRocco obviously was a freak. Wyndham went long. Kyle Lewis, who we just had on, went 21 years, which is unheard of, but 14 years is a good run, man.
Yeah, and for me, as a pro, I would say it was maybe only 2 or 3 years in Europe, and then 6 here out of 8, because some of them were not very great.
Yeah.
But yeah, I made money for 13, 14 years. That's good.
Yeah.
But it has a lot of toll on. A lot of people see the big picture as, oh, you race dirt bikes for a living, you don't have to work again, you're retired. But there's a lot of, it is, a lot of work, injuries, struggle, and on a personal level too.
Yeah.
It hurts your personal relationship, this thing, like the struggle, the bad results, the trying to find a deal, and injuries, you get frustrated, and also like you get a lot of people, a lot of riders, they get money early and then blow it. It wasn't the case for me, because I was like raised where we had to save every penny from the cup holder, to go by. But,
well, you mentioned your mom is sort of the money. She controlled the money and the finances in your house. And I thought it was interesting. I heard this a long time ago, maybe clear this up, that you kind of set your retirement up to where you wanted to get to X amount of dollars. Like, you had it very laid out. I'm going to have this much in the bank. I'm going to live off the interest or whatever, which is this. And that'll last me as long as I need to go.
Yeah, and we, the first year I was here in 2000, it was successful and made a lot of money. I think I made 1.5 million or something. My base salary was 400. So I made a lot of money. And I paid a lot of taxes. I paid $435,000. I wrote the check myself.
In one lump sum?
Yeah.
Oh.
So, because I had no counsel then, I didn't know what to do. I had a regular CPA from somebody said, oh, use this
Some
guy.
random place, yeah.
Right, random guy. He came to my house, he did some stuff. He'd say, oh, you make a lot of money, like, you're gonna pay a lot of taxes. And that's where the first couple years I was doing like the regular stuff. And then I got in touch with Dave Stevenson with the help of Eric Bernard. Introduced me to him, and then he didn't want any new clients, but I said I kind of need just guidance, help, how to do it. I'm not going to make money for 20 years, so I do it. It feels kind of outrageous to pay $500,000 in taxes, I was like, yeah, you got to set up retirement, pension, and all this stuff. So, okay, I understand now. And everything obviously legal and to the T, where you can, if you work in a company, you have a pension and a retirement. So we did it the same way with the racing. That way we could have some income when I'm done racing. But I never blew money, like here and there, like, but never like huge houses, a lot of cars, like just regular stuff, and always thinking about tomorrow. And I think that's how I was raised, and more with my mom. My mom has nothing to do with my financial stuff now, but she was when we raced in Europe. She was doing the books, and but yeah, like today, 99.5% of my money is invested, and it's set up where if I work, I don't draw. If I don't work and I need money, I draw for my pension. And so yeah, I'm good. Yeah. I'm good on that point.
That's great, because a lot of guys aren't. Like I've always thought that's a void in our sport, where these agents will go out and work for their rider and get them all the money they can get them, and then they just go, all right, see ya, good luck. And it's like, whoa, who's helping this guy to know?
You lost me an agent. I don't like him.
Yeah, but I mean, they also need a financial planner, someone to help them go, okay,
Yeah, they don't
you're going to be
know.
making good money. Here's some ideas that are smart. And then if you're dumb.
Because every time we would do like at the end of the year, like taxes and stuff, and like my CPA it would come and give me 3 options. You can get more money now, you can put away, you can go middle of the road, or you can keep the least amount and put away the most amount on your retirement fund and pension and all this stuff. I always took like the most conservative one because I didn't need and to a point it's my kids will tell you I don't spend enough money. My mom will tell me today I don't spend enough money but I was raised that way. You know, I was raised like saving because we don't know what's gonna happen, but I kept that way. I'm trying to get out of line a little bit here and there, but I don't know. It's tough. It's tough.
Are you still eating at Denny's? Just saving money?
No, I don't. I don't do Denny's. I do Chipotle, but I don't do Denny's.
There you go. No. Tell me about, because you managed Moto Concepts for a little while.
For a year, yes.
Did you do anything else? Like, do you work with any other teams or just Moto Concepts for that year?
So I retired at the end of 2009, and then I was teammate with Gauthier Paulin that year. He went and signed with Rinaldi to race MX2. He asked me to follow him and train him that winter and stuff. So I did that right away after I retired. And then did that all the way until the beginning of the season. It was more like a winter type of deal. And after 2010, not much. I was still in France. That's where Erica, my ex-wife, she was kind of like almost over it in France, tough with the language, friends, the kids were fine, like they were having a blast. They were speaking French and they learned. It was rough for like a couple months at school because we took them and then we dropped them off at a French school with everybody speaking French at 4 and 5 years old. But that made them like kind of tough, and so people were like, some kids were making fun of them because they were American and not speaking French, but they got into it and it helped my daughter. She's fluent now. She
that's cool.
Speaks perfectly, and my son has a tough time. But so in 2010 in the summer, like Erica was like, more like I kind of want to go home, I don't see myself being here for a long time. For me, I bought a nice house and everything. The kids were in school. I was like, I think I could spend time here. But with kids, they have to be in school 10 months of the year. So you have to
got to pick a place.
Pick a spot. You cannot do half and half. And we decided to come back. So we kept the house in France because it was paid for, and then we gave it. We had my mom come and live in it, just take care of it. And we came back to our Merida house, which we never sold. And got back to this. So that was like in the summer of 2010.
Okay.
And then at the end of 2010, like Genova contacted me to manage his team, Moto Concept. And I always wanted to do some kind of that type of stuff, just to know how it was. So I met with them and I went with them. I was around them at one of the races just to see how it was. And we decided to do it, which was crazy rough. A lot of hours. Managing a team is, with being a mechanic in this industry, a mechanic and a team manager is the two worst job you can have.
Yeah, agreed.
100%. It was rough. A lot of stuff to take care of. You go on 29 races a year. You work like a 12-hour day is a short day. So
Phone never stops ringing.
Never stop. Always need something. Always something wrong somewhere, with the semi, with the hotel room, with the flight. Somebody, you have to deal with so many variables that it's rough.
And you're stuck at a desk. When I managed Troy's team, that was the thing I hated. Just stuck at my desk, working on contracts or parts or just like whatever.
Parts holder and
I hated it.
travel and all this stuff.
The races were fun,
Yeah.
but I just hated the desk.
Yeah. But I think it's a good experience, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You learn a lot.
Yeah.
And you can say, oh, you manage a team. I can say I manage a team, and that was a small team too. It was a private team. There was mechanic, truck driver, and a team manager. So it's a lot of, there's nobody else. That was tough. So that was all the way to end of 11. 2012, I don't remember. I think I was helping Nick Way. Like he called me up, said, "Oh, can you come to the races some of the time?" He was private chair with the Kawi. I think that was 2012. I went to the track with him a few times. I went to races. It's kind of fun, like give him some input on the riding side. 2012 also rough year because I split. That's the year I split with my wife. Separated, filed for divorce, went to the divorce process. It was actually pretty smooth. We settled out of the court, and in I think less than 10 months it was done.
Are you guys, you get along okay now?
Yeah, we're good. Yeah, we're fine. And so, it was pretty easy compared to what I see. It cost me a bunch of change, but it was okay.
Yeah.
I got a good deal, I would say.
Well,
She got a good deal. I got a good deal.
Yeah.
Kids were happy. We still have a amicable relationship. We, everything is good with the kids.
That's the hard part. When you have kids, you don't want to be nasty with their mom, right? It changes the dynamic.
Yeah.
If you were kids, you could be like, hey.
I was nice. I'm like, this doesn't work anymore. We got to do something. We got to split. Let's stay kind of friends, and let me know what you want. What do you want? And then she sent me an email. Said she wants this, and this. I'm like, I said, okay, do the papers. I'll sign it. And that was it. That's all I divorced. I gave her exactly.
That's way cleaner than most people.
I gave her exactly what she asked for. I did not bargain on anything. She was reasonable, and I was like, I wanted to do it quick and still have a relationship with the kids, and that's what we have. She was at my house this morning. She picked up my son to do something. I don't know. I just saw her real quick, but everything is good. So,
okay.
But when you first start, when you build this, and it's rough, and you start to blame the beginning, the beginning of the career, the sport, other than obviously the kids, which my kids are a success in the story and moving here, but if you take them out. If I never raced or never decided to ride dirt bikes, maybe I would have a better a relationship with my dad. Maybe go to school, do something else, play sport or whatever, or just quit, do this. I wouldn't have to move here, go to a foreign country, and then meet a girl, get married, have kids, and then this didn't work. So that failed, a lot of failure also in the career as far as result, no championship wins, but a lot of injuries and basically failure when it was accessible to get maybe one title, somewhere. And you start when everything. So the career, you look back, say, yeah, I won races and I raced with the best and made good money. So there's a lot of positive. But in my case, there's all the negative that came from it don't overbalance the good.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So if you could rewind the clock and tell Dad, nah, I don't want that Yamaha 60. Let's go play soccer. You'd go that route probably, or something else.
Yeah, because today I'll be 45 in a couple months. On a personal level, it's I'm happy. Like the kids live with me. Like I have great kids. Obviously, if I never came here, I wouldn't have them. But if you take them out of the equation, it's kind of rough though. Yeah, I have money, a nice house, and okay, but it's what else? You know, like relationship is tough. You have to rebuild. It's been 10 years since separated, got divorced, and it's I'm not living with anyone yet. I did not rebuild my personal life where it's like all settled down. Kids went from house to houses, so maybe their youth were not as good as they could have been if we were to be a family still. And me, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be American today. Maybe I'll be in France, do something else. But I would have less money, but maybe more happiness, maybe. I don't know. There's something like that comes to your mind where, it adds up, like injuries and coming short on some stuff on the professional side and on the personal side. It's tough,
That's so I find this whole concept really interesting because in our sport, all of us have the same goal, right? Championship. That's what's from day one what we've wanted. And very few people get them. Like they are really rare. I mean, it's really, really rare to get one. And so like I'll talk to guys, like I talked to Albie about this. And I said, if I had just won even a 125 title, I would have felt like because I had a crap ton of injuries. All the injuries, all the sacrifices I made, all of it would be, I would at least feel like it was worth something. Like I have this thing that I worked towards and I got it. He's like, yeah, Ping, but he goes, I won 3 world titles. I came and won a national championship here. And he goes, all I wanted was a Supercross title and I couldn't get it.
You always want
more.
more.
So no matter what you get, you're going to want whatever the next thing is. And it took me a long time to kind of get to the point where I really got that and that sunk in. And like, wherever you're at, I'd trade my career in a heartbeat for what you did. So would a lot of people, like you did, dude, your career was incredible. 7-time Supercross winner, 3-time outdoor national winner, more than 40 podium finishes, top privateer in 07, top privateer in 06 outdoors, 4-time King of Bercy. Like, bro, that's incredible.
Yeah.
And I know you didn't win a title, but like I feel like you got to get to a point where you just go, a fraction of a percent of the racing population will ever eclipse that. I
understand that. I understand that.
And so got to go, all right, well, we've had some personal issues. Everybody has different personal issues. Like, be happy with where you're at and rebuild and like build the life you want.
Yeah.
You have money in the bank. You have good kids. You got a good relationship with your ex-wife. That's nice. Man, the world's your oyster. So
I understand, but sometimes when right now I'm fine. Today, like the last couple of years, like I'm happy, like I'm where I want to be and everything. But that's when you're in the bottom, and then you start like overthinking things, and
I get it.
Now I'm fine. I'm good. I'm jobless, which I love. That's great. I can do some stuff like this. I'm not as busy. You've been wanting me to come on this show for a while. I'm fine. Yeah. But you always think like, what could have been if you had be a little different, and so also maybe the way I was raised, where we had to be, always performing and, not be the best, but like winning. Winning was important.
Is that like a hard transition for you now, where you were always so goal oriented, like, okay, this is what I have to do every weekend, and now what do you got to do? Just be a good dad and like.
Yeah, I love it. You know, and
So-
I'm actually pretty good. Like since Dylan got hurt, like Marvin is not racing outdoors. Cole got hurt and got released from his team, so he doesn't know what he's going to do. So I was working with those 3 guys at the beginning of the year. Now I've been off for a while since the start of the motocross season, and my son finally asked me to help him out at the gym to do some training stuff. He never reached out. He always wanted to go work out with somebody else, work out with a basketball trainer or this and that. And last year we did some stuff here and there, like he was curious. But after he graduated high school, he's going to college for basketball. And he said, hey, for 2 months this summer, I want to work out with you. Like I want to build up and then come with me at the gym when I shoot. You can be the ball boy. We do this. I'll do some drills. You help me with the basketball. And then I want to go to the gym, or you make me a program, I'll follow it. And so we've been doing that.
Has that been cool?
Since July 1st. Yeah, July 1st, I cook his meal, I cook his breakfast. And I'm mellow. I'm like, I don't need you to go to the gym at 6 a.m. Just, you can, it's the summer.
Yeah.
You know, you wake up at 6 a.m. in college.
Yeah.
You have time to do that. So, you know, you can still do your last summer at home before going to college, fall, and have fun with your friends. But we'll be serious. I'll cook your meals, you know, clean meals, and then we do gym, and then I'll help if you need help on basketball side to be like a ball boy, and I'll be there. And then we started July 1st, and August 23rd today. It's been fun, yeah. Sometimes it's kind of rough, but it's been good, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, we'll keep an eye on him and see where he goes with that basketball thing. I know he loves it. I see all the stuff you post, and it seems like he's really good. So one of the questions we ask all of our guests, kind of the last question, is how you want to be remembered in this sport.
Remember, it's somebody that worked hard to try to win something, you know, because I wasn't born with. I don't believe in talent. It's maybe a subject for another show, but I don't believe James Stewart was born with the gene of Supercross and motocross. I think it comes with a lot of riding and training and maybe intelligence also to learn a craft.
Steve Caballero has the same exact. He does not, like when we talk about nature versus nurture, he says the same thing. He goes, I was born with scoliosis, poor, I'm short, I have no physical advantages. I started skating because I couldn't get picked on any team sports. He goes, and I became one of the best skaters in the world. You think I did it because I'm talented? Like, he gets mad about it. And I'm kind of like, huh.
Yeah, for me, I get the same way. When, not they talk about me, but when they talk about really talented rider, like James or Wyndham, I don't know, the good ones, like Precise or MC. Or
Sexton.
Yes. They say, oh, he's so talented. There's so much talent. No, there's so much riding, understanding, practicing, and, you know, understanding how to ride a bike and do this. And you're not precise on the rhythm section doing 4/4 if you steer because you were born that way. So I want to be remembered as someone that, work hard and try my best to achieve a goal that was not too much my own to start with. It became my own because that's the only thing I could do in life. And a real guy, somebody that, speak his mind and have an opinion and that's better. And a good dad. That's important too.
Yeah. Well, dude, I think all of that stuff is pretty much how I would describe you. Definitely speak your mind too. I like that.
Yeah, because I have no ties to anyone. If I was tied up with the company or stuff, like I had to be there. But now, like, I have this freedom where I can say what I think, which is freedom.
Yeah.
You know, and other than that, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you taking the time to come on the show. I know we've been bugging you.
It's been a
forever.
while.
And I'm sorry this went so long, but I'm also not sorry. This has been a lot of fun. So thanks so much, man. And we'll get you back on for some other stuff because you're fun to have on.
No worries.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Stay tuned. We're going to be right back to wrap up the show.
Dunlop. There is a reason every AMA championship in the past decade was won on Dunlop tires. They are the best. Choose the best performing tire and a brand that has never wavered in their support of our sport. Choose Dunlop. Pro Circuit. Pro Circuit products are designed with one goal in mind: winning. Through passion and hard work, Pro Circuit has operated the most successful 250 team in the history of the sport. They use that same formula when developing exhaust, engine, and suspension parts for every brand. When only the highest level of performance is acceptable, trust Pro Circuit.
Since 2009, Seat Concepts has been dedicated to making the best aftermarket seats. More comfort, more grip, more riding. For 10 years, we've continued to raise the bar. Innovation and American craftsmanship make Seat Concepts the world-leading manufacturer of power sports seats.
Something from nothing. That's what Nihilo Concepts is about. Starts with a spark, an idea, a concept, which leads to a design, and finishes with engineered excellence with the highest quality products created with durability in mind. All our products are made in the USA at our state-of-the-art facility in Stuart, Florida. Whether you are a weekend warrior, ride for fun, or at the highest level of competition, Nihilo Concepts offers innovative titanium, aluminum, and carbon fiber parts for your dirt bike. We offer a wide variety of products that you can customize to your liking. Browse our site for foot pegs, brake tips, engine components, specialty tools, frame grip tape, lever grips, carbon fiber components, motor stands, our secondary on-switch, plus much more. Head to NihiloConcepts.com and see for yourself why factory teams like Red Bull KTM, Rockstar Husqvarna, Troy Lee Designs Gas, Orange Brigade, Club MX, KLM Gas, and some of the fastest riders in the world choose Nihilo Concepts.
Since 1987, Coach Rob has been dedicated to creating durable motocross, supercross, GNCC, and road racers through his complete racing solutions program, integrating performance, nutrition, functional strength, flexibility, and mental development. His proven system has world-class results, producing 4 AMA #1 Pro Plates and over 270 national championships. The complete racing solutions program focuses on the fundamentals of human physiology and how riders interact with the physics of a motorcycle. Its proven process and system helps riders understand the why associated with riding technique, and how getting faster on a motorcycle directly correlates with strength, endurance, nutrition, and flexibility off the bike. There is a difference between a fast racer and a complete racing solutions racer. Visit CompleteRacingSolutions.com and get on the path to becoming the champion you want to be. Specialized Bicycles. Specialized leads the way in the world of bicycling. Whether it's cross-country racing, downhill, e-bikes, enduro, road, gravel, dual slalom, dirt jumping, or all mountain bikes that do it all, Specialized has the perfect ride for you. The brand is synonymous with engineering excellence and innovation that steers the industry. Visit your local Specialized dealer for a test ride and see just how good Specialized products are.
Try to keep on keeping on.
OGO Power Sports. OGO has perfected the carrying case. Motocross gear bags, helmet bags, boot bags, hydration packs, backpacks, and travel bags, to name a few, have all been meticulously engineered to maximize space and surpass durability standards that would make NASA proud. Simply the best. OGO Power Sports.
Push intercom on.
It's cool to be able to hear what they talk about and how fast they should go, throttle control, braking. Really cool.
Extend your leg out. There you go. Good job. Good throttle control, Lonnie. That's a great training tool. It was a lot of fun to be on the track with them. Hey, Lano.
What?
Can you pull off over here when you get to me and your brother?
Okay.
With a rich history in motocross, ProX has been dedicated to supplying quality components since 1975. Whether you're rebuilding an engine or just need a new chain, ProX Racing Parts aims to bridge the gap between OE quality and affordability. ProX has over 9,000 part numbers and over 60 different product types that are manufactured by highly reputable or even OEM suppliers and are offered at affordable prices to help keep riders on the bike instead of in the garage. Visit ProX.com to search parts for your bike or check them out at your favorite online or local dealer.
Audio Jungle.
The guys are just breaking in their race bikes, which will leave on the semi this Saturday to go to the first Supercross for our coast in Orlando. So the guys are just be goofing off a little bit, do some cool photos, do some cool videos. When you go racing, you want to do well, but a big key is keeping the bikes on the track. That's why we chose to work with Motul.
Expectations coming in as a rookie is just to try and get my feet wet and honestly just send it, see where I end up and do my best out there, but just ride aggressive and ride like myself in practice and I should have a good time.
Challenges of this sport, I believe, is just simply staying healthy. With how fast we're going and what we're doing, your margin for mistake is really, really small.
Stay Sick. If you have little rippers, then you have had to have seen Stay Sick bikes by now. We have created bike and experiences that allow kids to develop sooner and empower them to find their own ride. From learning to ride to sharpening skills, the Stay Sick promise is accelerated growth. Whatever path your family chooses, it's going to be the ride of your life. Stay Sick Stability Cycles.
You ever heard the phrase that the harder you work, the luckier you are? Well, at Luck Apparel, they believe in an acronym that kind of sums it up a little more simply than that: laboring under complete knowledge. So it isn't just some random chance that determines what your outcome or results are going to be. It's being educated and working your butt off to get it done. And I think that that goes hand in hand with the motocross industry. You don't get lucky into a win. You work your ass off and you make it happen. So check out Luck Apparel. They've got t-shirts, hats, sweatshirts, all kinds of cool stuff. And we're stoked to have them on board here at the Whiskey Throttle Show in 2022. Today's show is brought to you in part by ZDMS, the next generation dealer management system for the power sports industry. Designed for large and multi-rooftop dealership operations, ZDMS Business Intelligence harnesses the power of your data for better line of sight into dealership decision making. Pinpoint performance areas of concern where profit is being maximized and opportunities remain. Real-time data visualization combined with drill-down reporting means you can track up-to-the-minute dealership performance across all departments. Unlock stories you never knew existed and meaningful insights into your business. With ZDMS's intuitive, easy-to-use dealer management system, you'll streamline your opportunities and improve communication across your entire dealership with efficient workflows while spending less time behind the counter and more time with your customers. ZDMS understands technology is only as good as the team representing it. With ZDMS's unmatched top-tier support, rest assured your customer experience is part of the package. Every team member in your dealership will have access to a support team ready to assist in any way possible. Change is good. Say goodbye to your legacy DMS software and modernize your operations, minimize costs, improve efficiencies, and make data-driven decisions to increase profitability with ZDMS. Demo at ziidms.com today.
I wanna be bad with you, girl, like we're robbing a bank. I wanna be mad at the world, like it took you away.
Welcome back. That wraps up our show, and I really just want to thank DV for taking the time to come in. It was a long time. It's going to take you guys a while to get through this, I know, and I was blown away at his recollection of things and the detail that he went into. And like I said, I know it was long, but man, if you're a fan of DV or personal stories, there was a lot of stuff to unpack. And man, I appreciate him being just open and really letting it come out, you know. some pretty emotional stuff in there, and some heavy stuff and some personal stuff. So I just really thank him for doing that. And as always, I would tell you, just please support our sponsors. You know, those we've been very careful in selecting who we partner with, and the products that we align ourselves with, we believe in 100%. So if you're in the market for any of that stuff, man, please have a look at our partners first and give them a shot. A lot of them are offering discounts using our code, which is Whiskey Throttle if they're offering it. We appreciate it. We appreciate you guys' support. Visit all of our stuff over at Whiskey Throttle Media, and we'll see you soon on the next show. Take care.
The Whiskey Throttle Show is brought to you by Yamaha. Join the Blue Crew today and take advantage of all that Yamaha has to offer, including amateur racing trackside support, awesome Yamaha contingency, Jason Rain's demos and instructional classes, and frankly, the most high-performing motorcycles available on the market today. Whether you're looking for a 4-stroke, a 2-stroke, a side-by-side, a quad, a boat, a generator, Yamaha prides themselves on absolute top-level quality and reliability. Rev your heart with Yamaha and join the Blue Crew today. Sore necks, aching legs, tight backs. Our bodies aren't designed to be constantly tense. But what can we do about it? Help your body relax with TheraBody. TheraBody creates effective, natural solutions to take charge of your daily wellness. By combining education, innovation, and over a decade of pioneering technology, TheraBody makes wellness more accessible for everybody. A traumatic motorcycle accident led TheraBody founder Dr. Jason Westland to create the Theragun for his debilitating pain. Now the Theragun, the only physician-created percussive therapy device, uses a scientifically calibrated combination of depth, speed, and power to relax and release your deep muscle tension. Recovery Air is TheraBody's world-leading pressure compression therapy system that flushes out leg soreness so you can bring on peak performance. Most electrical muscle stimulation is ineffective. Instead, TheraBody's sleek Power Dot takes away the guesswork with an intuitive app that customizes intensity and placement so you recover faster. Regular foam rollers hurt. TheraBody's Wave series delivers powerful vibration and pressure to help you recover with less pain. Don't settle for mystery CBD. TheraBody's TheraOne range of topical and ingestible full-spectrum USDA-certified organic CBD products are redefining high-potency CBD for wellness and recovery. 250 professional sports teams exclusively use Theragun and other TheraBody products to take recovery into their own hands. Method Race Wheels, bringing you the lightest, strongest, fastest wheels in off-road for your truck, van, sprinter, UTV, or SUV. They've been dominating the Baja 500 and 1000 and every major off-road event around the world for years with high quality and performance. They also look amazing. They come in a bunch of different styles and colors for your rig, so check them out. You can get 20% off a set of wheels using our code Whiskey Throttle. No capitals, no spaces. 20% off using our code. Check them out. Also, coming soon, the R1M project. Method Race Wheels makes a dive into the motocross world. Stay tuned. Troy Lee Designs is the leader in off-road motocross apparel and style. So whether you're looking for a cool new paint job for your helmet, maybe your name and number on your helmet lettered on, you're looking for new gear, you're looking for mountain bike gear, off-road gear, they've got the brand new Scout line and GP and SE models. Troy Lee Designs has it all. They've been leading this industry for decades, and they're going to continue to do it. Check out TroyLeeDesigns.com. SKDA is a moto graphics and seat covers company with several offices based around the globe. For too long, bikes and graphics have all looked the same. They just start to blend together. SKDA is working to change that. With super clean and unique design work, a bike with SKDA graphics stands out in a crowd and adds a touch of art to the world of moto. Hey, we need that. SKDA prides itself on providing premium customer service both before and after the sale is made. Visit SKDA online to view the current product range and get in touch with their team to get your bike refreshed. I want to just make a mention here that these guys, not only is their design way outside the box, very, very cool, they'll work with you on custom things. The products are incredible, okay? They'll speak for themselves, but what's really awesome, and you'll notice this the minute you order one of these, man, they give you an email saying, hey, the product's been shipped. Hey, the product is here. It landed in this spot. Hey, it's coming today. Hey, your product's been delivered. They're just so good about staying in touch with you and letting you know where it's at. Customer service is 100%, and that's just something that's rare these days. Check out SKDA. Here at the Whiskey Throttle Show, we're all about supporting brands that support our sport. And there's one tire company that has never walked away from the sport of motocross and supercross, and it's Dunlop. When times got tough and the economy took a crash, Dunlop stepped up and stayed with our sport to support it and the athletes and individuals that love it. Their MX53 line and MX33 lines absolutely dominate this sport. Every national championship at the pro level has been won in the last decade, and nearly every single amateur national championship at Loretta Lynn's has been won on a Dunlop. So if you're looking for high performance, you're looking for amazing quality, and you're looking to support a brand that never turns its back on our sport, there's only one choice for you, and it's Dunlop. Pro Circuit is the leader in aftermarket performance and quality. Whether you're looking for a little more horsepower out of your engine, some quality hard parts to improve the way your bike feels and looks, better handling through suspension or linkage arms, Pro Circuit is where you need to stop. It's your one-stop shop. You can go in there and get everything you need to make your motorcycle go from average to exceptional. Pro Circuit's got enough number one plates on their wall to side an entire home, and there's a reason for that. They're very, very good at what they do. The highest quality products with one goal in mind, and that's winning. Check out ProCircuit.com. Nihilo Concepts is leading the way in aftermarket hard parts. With their secondary on-switch device, something that was much needed in this sport, they've been innovating and bringing new products to market. Their latest is the new Nihilo Run Cool brake pistons. They're designed to be stronger than stock and provide exceptional cooling performance with less brake drag. Most OEM calipers pistons are made from aluminum that just can't hold up to the heat and extreme demands of serious racing. When they get hot, the aluminum will distort, causing loss of hydraulic pressure and brake failure. Nihilo's Run Cool pistons limit the area that boiling hot hydraulic fluid is able to come in contact with the piston, leaving 2/3 of the piston volume in open air with breather holes to enhance the cooling ability. It's made of a proprietary stainless blend, which is better at dissipating heat. You have issues with brake fade or brake failure, check out Nihilo Concepts among their many amazing hard parts and carbon fiber parts and titanium. NihiloConcepts.com. Senna is the leader in motorcycle helmet communications. There's really two prongs to why this is important. One of them is safety. If you're a dad who's watching your kid out on a track, being able to communicate with him about a rider down or a track situation is imperative. You don't want him coming over a jump and seeing a rider down and getting himself involved in that. So from a safety aspect, it's huge. You can also coach them. So if you see them taking a line, doing something that they could be improved, it's very easy to just click a button and speak to them right in their helmet in real time. This has been a proven coaching technique used by many motorcycle coaches. There's also just the simple fun factor. Being able to chat with your buddy while you're out on a ride, share music between one another, answer phone calls. It just takes your riding experience to another level. So whether you're using the 50S or 50R connected through a mesh network in your helmet, or you're using a Tough Talk headset connected with one of those, Senna is the leader in quality and performance in motorcycle helmet communications. Check them out at Senna.com. Seat Concepts is the leader in motorcycle saddles. If you're looking for a new cover or a new seat entirely, Seat Concepts is the place to go. They make custom seat foams catered to your height, weight, riding ability, riding type. They also have waterproof covers and foams that will not break down if you ride in a lot of inclement weather. And they pride themselves on being much more comfortable than OEM or any other aftermarket company. If you're looking for a new seat or a new cover, Seat Concepts, there's nothing better. Need to replace something on your bike that's worn out? Look no further than ProX. These guys aim to make everything OEM quality or better at an affordable price. And they've also got some new products coming. So right now, chains, sprockets, anything inside the engine internally, air filters. If it wears out, ProX makes it, and they make it at a quality level that's OEM or better. And they've got some new things coming that are awesome. A complete engine rebuild kits for the Polaris RZR 800s. Need to replace something on your bike that's worn out? Look no further than ProX. These guys aim to make everything OEM quality or better at an affordable price. And they've also got some new products coming. So right now, chains, sprockets, anything inside the engine internally, air filters. If it wears out, ProX makes it, and they make it at a quality level that's OEM or better. And they've got some new things coming that are awesome. A complete engine rebuild kits for the... If you've got a little Grom that's looking to get started in the motorcycle world, the best way to get them going is on a Stasic bike. They've got multiple sizes, so from your very young Groms to those who are a little more grown up, you can start them safely. They've got controls that allow you to control the speed so he can't get going too quick. They can touch the ground. There's not a lot of noise to distract them. It's the perfect way to get your child involved in motorcycling at a very young age. And if you've got a kid who's already out ripping, there's series popping up all over. For those of you in Southern California, go to www.ameminicross.com and join their local series. If you're outside of this state, contact your local track and ask them about starting a STASIC class at your local track. Get over to stasic.com and check out all they've got going on. Motul USA, we lean hard on these lubricants to keep us on the track and on the trail. And Motul has proven their quality over and over, most recently with their Dakar win with Ricky Brabeck. They're sponsoring Supercross teams. They're diving into our sport again, full throttle, and we're stoked to have them on board. Amazing products, top to bottom. Motul USA, go check them out. OGIO is the leader in motorcycle storage solutions. As motocross riders, we need a gear bag, we need a helmet bag, a boot bag, a backpack, a travel bag, a hydration pack, maybe a toolkit to wear around your waist if you're on an off-road ride. OGIO makes all of that, and their products are absolutely top of the line. I've got stuff I've had for several decades, just to give you an idea of how long this stuff lasts. If you're not sure, ask around, talk to folks who've had some of this stuff, and they will confirm that OGIO's quality is absolutely second to none. So go check them out, OGIO_powersports.com, and look at all they've got to offer right now. You ever heard the phrase that the harder you work, the luckier you are? Well, at Luck Apparel, they believe in an acronym that kind of sums it up a little more simply than that: laboring under complete knowledge. So it isn't just some random chance that determines what your outcome or results are going to be. It's being educated and working your butt off to get it done. And I think that goes hand in hand with the motocross industry. You don't get lucky into a win. You work your ass off and you make it happen. So check out Luck Apparel. They've got t-shirts, hats, sweatshirts, all kinds of cool stuff. And we're stoked to have them on board here at the Whiskey Throttle Show in 2022. And finally, last but not least, Specialized Bicycles. If you are in the market to start pedaling, this is where you want to start. They've got great entry-level bikes all the way up to the Cadillac, the new Levo e-bike, anything in between, man. It doesn't matter what kind of riding you're doing. Go check out and start with Specialized. Don't waste your time on something that's going to break. The derailleur's not going to shift after a couple months. Get something quality. These guys make it. Specialized leads that industry. Hey, everybody. Thanks for clicking on another episode of MPH Moto E Performance and Health. We've got Coach Rob Beams here, and today we're going to talk about adrenal fatigue. Those of you who are working multiple jobs, training your butts off, trying to ride as much as you can, you're 100 miles an hour, 23 and a half hours a day, and just can't figure out why you can't stop feeling sluggish. Possible adrenal fatigue. This is something I think that's pretty rampant in our sport that doesn't get enough attention.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you. I think it's like kind of a black cloud, as you always say. It's the elephant in the room that nobody wants to really address. We're in a bravado sport where showing any sign of weakness and you get ostracized for it, and it's a shame because it's ruining our sport at that top level. I mean, as you've said over and over again, you look at the age that they're retiring. That's not necessary. We don't see the burnout rate in other sports, even sport of triathlon. I mean, Jan Frodeno just set the world record for Ironman world record. He's going to turn 40 next month. 40.
Yeah, that's crazy. It certainly shows you that it isn't the physical side of it from us. It's the psychological and
it's just the
that
redlining. Yeah.
So whether you're racing at a professional level, and we've seen more chronic fatigue and Epstein-Barr and just guys going out early, a lot of injuries. But this isn't just at a pro level. This is the everyman who's working their ass off at a 9 to 5. There's a lot of stress that goes along with that, and then you tack on, just life in general and trying to still ride dirt bikes and be in shape. What's some things they can be looking for?
Well, we call them the big four indicators. If you're craving simple sugars, if you're tired and you can't sleep, if you have night sweats, or you have low sex drive, 1, all the above, 2 of the 4, whatever, even if it's just 1, how many more red lights do you need blinking in the room? Now, the challenge is the media, the mainstream, the Google, whatever you use, has an excuse for everything. If you don't have a sex drive, it's because you're not 20. If you have night sweats, you're premenopausal. If you can't sleep, it's because you've got so many jobs.
And they have a pill to sell you.
Absolutely. Behind it's always an ad, right? And that's the part that I always get frustrated with, because when somebody is telling me that they have night sweats, or I've got a young athlete and sexual dysfunction at 20 years old, I'm like, man, you realize that's not normal, right? No matter what you want to believe, that's not normal. And if you can get past the sensitivity of the subject and you just look at it for face value, what bigger indicator do you need that you need to sleep and you need to eat more?
20, you should be walking around with an erection all day.
Exactly.
So, I mean, something's way off.
Absolutely. And yet I've had people who have presented themselves in every sport that we're in that are 20, 22 years old, sexually dysfunction.
Wow.
And it's sad to me because obviously the enjoyment that comes with that is a significant part of life. But if you've got that going, you're probably not far behind on the other three, or they may be there and you may not realize it. So when we're looking at what are the signs of it, and this is where it gets a little bit nebulous, and I hope the listeners, if you have questions, you can reach out to us, contact@coachrob.com. When you feel that you're exhausted, stop and ask, what did yesterday look like? Does it really justify this current level of fatigue? Because, some of us, we don't have extremely hard days every day, but you notice that you never seem to get out from underneath it. Well, it's that residual fatigue.
It's cumulative. I feel this at the fire station a lot because I'll work 4, 5, 6 days straight. And it's not like any one day we had an event that was really hard. I mean, even if we don't have big fires or anything, but you get up a couple times at night for a call. It screws your sleep up.
Absolutely.
It builds. And after 4, 5, 6 days, I can feel really, really tired.
Well,
and I'm trying to overcome that with caffeine. And
think about the listeners. You're getting woken up because you got to go put out a fire. The listeners are getting woken up because their newborn child woke up. They got called into work. That portfolio of why am I getting woken up? We all have our unique challenges, right?
Yes.
And some of us, maybe you're bringing in an elderly loved one. That changes the dynamics of the house. It's very commendable that you're willing to do that. But what's the balance there? Are you bringing in outside help? What's the agreement with you and your partner? How's that going to be managed? Because it's, no pun intended for you, it's a code red alarm. Every time you get woken up, the body, you've thrown off the circadian rhythm and the cortisol level. It's, for the listeners, it's called the parasympathetic, right? Our fight or flight as we all know it. Well, think about it in terms of a motorcycle. That parasympathetic system, it doesn't want to be revving all day long. Well, you've got a sick elderly person in your house. One of your animals is down sick. You may be losing your job. Someone just stole your motorcycle. We've all dealt with these frustrations, but what happens when they load up? Like you're saying, 5 days at being at the fire, eventually it just wears you down. That's 5 days. But for one of the listeners, or for our listeners that might be 23, he's like, suck it up, buttercup, you can do it. It's a little different when you're 40, 42, 45. You feel it differently. That's that residual fatigue you're talking about. And I think that's what our sport is really hurting ourselves with is, and when I say our sport, I'm not just talking the pros themselves. For some of us, we have to travel further and further to go race. And then you go and you race, and unfortunately, the races are very short. You go, Rob, well, when the races are short, you're pinning the intensity. So you do 5 or 6 different classes because you want to get more than an hour on the track for the entire day. So very, very short recovery, high intensity racing. Well, where are you trying to get your food and beverages in between that? Then you got to try and drive all night long to get right back to work, to go work a 12-hour day because you want to race on the weekend.
To make the money to go do it again.
Yeah. And we all do it. We love it. We're not pulling the victim card at all. That's not what we're saying. But just like if we rode this in second gear for 45 minutes, we would know we excessively stressed the system, irregardless of the hour meter. But we do it every day. We chalk it up to being married, having a family, doing whatever we have. The body's in there just revving, going, when are you going to rebuild me? When are you going to? It's not like an hour meter where we go, hey, well, we had 10 hours. Let's put a new top end. I am a big fan of the heart rate monitor. You can look at that resting heart rate. You can see if it's abnormally high. If it's not justified, you're probably tired. You have with the Garmin platform with the new body batteries, it's telling you need to be starting your day at 100. You're starting it at 67. Is that really a good day to do intervals?
Yeah. Maybe
not even go to the track. Maybe just go work a turn track on your property. Go work starts. Keep the intensity low.
I have days. Some days I've got a workout scheduled, and I'm just like, man, I don't have it.
That's
and
right.
I'll walk on a treadmill. I'll put it at a little incline, walk for 20 minutes, and then get down and stretch for 20 or 30 minutes. And sometimes that's all I got.
Well, take it a step further. Go and smash yourself for an hour because the schedule says you have to do it. Wear the bike down even more. Or go ahead and do a 20-minute walk, foam roll, get some food in you, and go take a 30-minute nap. What's going to give you a better ROA 2 days later?
Yeah.
Now that doesn't always go well with our listeners because we only have one gear, right? We always tease about it on the show, pin it to win it. There's a point in diminishing returns. And what I think is interesting about this is you wouldn't have a bike that has 100 hours on it and go, yep, I've got my championship bike. I'm ready to go. But yet we think that we can just drag ourselves out of bed tomorrow morning and we're in championship shape.
Yeah.
No, we're not.
Got a good night's sleep one night, I'm all set.
And that's where those 4 external signs, they're an external sign of a hormonal fatigue. That's what adrenal fatigue is. It's hormonal.
Mm-hmm.
It's the parasympathetic system, the fight or flight saying, my red line is redlined out.
Yeah. And there's 2 things you always talk about. You use a funnel.
Yes.
Take us through that.
Well, if you think about, when I have a funnel and I'm pouring fuel through the top of it, I expect fuel to come out the bottom of it, right? When you're looking at the adrenals, and the adrenals need to be adrenaline, as I always like to tease, what the adrenals need to excrete are HGH, and testosterone, human growth hormone and testosterone. HGH makes you naturally leaner. Testosterone increases the red blood cell count, amongst other things. Well, if I don't put MCT oils, high quality fat, raw coconut, raw nuts, extra virgin olive oil, any of the listeners can just Google MCT, medium chain triglycerides, that needs to go on the top of the funnel. The funnel itself exemplifies the adrenal system. If you want the funnel to release the hormones, give it fat. And that's what's so difficult in our society where we're fat phobic. We think fat's the enemy. Well, saturated fat is the enemy. It'll kill you. But the high quality fat, your body will either use it or lose it. Well, when you're trying to give the system what it needs MCT oils. It needs high quality fat so it can excrete the hormones that makes you naturally leaner and recover. That's why you always hear me say sleep and food are the key elements to recovery. Because you can sit and lay in bed for 10 hours, but if you don't get enough deep sleep, your body doesn't release hormones. If you don't get enough sleep cycles, you don't fully recover. Circadian rhythm, especially for yourself with those constant interruptions, police officers, firefighters, doctors, nurses, they're usually up when they need to be asleep. They're asleep when they need to be awake. And their circadian rhythm is all out of whack.
Yeah.
And that's what causes weight gain.
Damn it.
Yep.
Well, there's a lot more info on your website, and I would encourage anybody, if you are feeling any of these symptoms or you're just feeling like run down, address it. Don't keep trying to push through, coffee your way through it. You're just going to make it worse and worse.
Well, it's like kerosene on a fire. You've got an exhausted body, and you're throwing a stimulant in it to kind of just keep getting it to rev until it just can't anymore. That's when you get diagnosed with Epstein-Barr, adrenal fatigue. And for those of you that are more medically have a medical foundation, we understand Epstein-Barr and chronic fatigue are not the same. I don't want to mislead anybody that it is. We can get into what actually is adrenal fatigue and all that in another show.
Well, and that's the go-to blames when riders just get worn out.
Yeah.
But that's not necessarily always what it is. It could just be this.
That's why I like you to look for the 4 external signs of craving simple sugars, night sweats, low sex drive, tired and you can't sleep, because those are non-emotional. As much as we may joke about, the sex drive, we can turn it on, turn it off. Those are just non-emotional external signs. The part that becomes so dangerous in all of this is when you boil down adrenal fatigue, why do we wait until it becomes a diagnosed disease? Because if you want to get highly technical at the 10,000 foot level, when you have a cold sore, it's in the family of the herpes. So when you have adrenal fatigue, all of that is in the same. Adrenal fatigue isn't having herpes. I'm saying usually when you have a cold sore that breaks out, it's because the body's excessively stressed. So it's showing you it's an external sign of stress. Yeah. So when you look at all of those external signs, how many more do you need?
Right.
And it's not like a motor where I can reach in and I can rebuild your adrenals. The only thing that rebuilds the muscle, the body from the inside out, because you got to remember cells, they make up tissue. Tissue makes up an organ. Series of organs make up a system. So when we say at a cellular level, that's why blood results are so important. If you're constantly out of range, you're out of range for one of only 3 reasons. You're not eating enough, you're burning it faster than you can get it in, or you're just simply not absorbing what you're eating. That's why blood work is so advantageous, because it is the foundation of health.
Yeah.
But we wait until we get adrenal fatigue, and if you've never had it, unfortunately, the only prescription for adrenal fatigue, sleep and eat.
Sleep and eat.
That's what they're going to tell you. And it's ruined a lot of people's careers that we all know.
So takeaway here is don't feel bad about catching a nap, sleeping in a little bit.
Absolutely.
And good fats
are just that, very good.
Very, very good fats.
There's a lot more resources over at CompleteRacingSolutions.com. I would recommend going over there, punching in and checking in with Rob. All the things he's got there for free. You can also look at advanced memberships that will allow you access to a lot more. So we really appreciate you being on.
Thank you,
Stay
sir.
tuned for more MPH videos.
Thanks for watching the Whiskey Throttle Show, now available on the Spot Network, an independent standalone streaming platform live now on Apple TV, Roku, Amazon Fire, Google Play, Android TV, most smart TVs, and all phones and tablets. Look for future live shows and specials only available on Spot Network. Download the app today on your favorite device. And don't forget to like and subscribe and click the bell to get alerts for all the latest content. Follow us on Twitter at W_Throttle_show and on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram at Whiskey Throttle Show.